Hello, this is Malorian, and this is going to be a game of 3,000 points of my orcs versus some other orcs. So here's the usual picture of the generals. I'm going to be running a Savage Orc War Boss that has the Sword of Bloodshed, so +3 attacks, and also the Potion of Strength, so I can just be insanely strong for one turn. And my opponent is running a regular Orc War Boss. He has the Bash's Axe, and he's on a boar, and then has light armor and shield and all that fun stuff. So the game we were playing was Blood and Glory, and we got full terrain. So we have kind of like the settlement on the left there, the bottom left. There's a wizard tower in the middle of my deployment, in the middle of theirs. A forest top left, bottom right. The thing in the middle there, that's that Anvil of Vol. There's another little house there, a building on the the mid left, top right. Uh, there's a sinister statue. That's where the skull is on the far right. And I think that's pretty much it. Anyway, so looking at what we have here, on my side, I have 40 black orcs. Then I have 100 night goblins in that one house there somehow. I have a wolf chariot. Then I have my brand new unit I just put together of 40 savage orcs big guns with extra hand weapon. And in there I have my savage orc great shaman with the shrunken head and potion of defense, or toughness rather. And I also have my general. Then behind them I have my bunker of 20 Night Goblin archers with my Night Goblin BSB. I have my troll, nether wolf chariot, another 100 Night Goblins, and in there I put all 6 big bosses that have great weapons. And then on the far right I have my squig herd, which I had to deploy in weird ranks just because of how I have to be 9 away from the edge. And so I had to go into the forest there. It turns out it's a regular forest. Other forest top left actually turned out to be a regular forest too. Anyway, talking about my opponent, he has a big unit of 20 spiders on the left, a huge unit of night goblins at the top there, a chukka in the woods there. Then he has a big unit of regular goblins, 3 trolls behind. Then he has a goblin character on a cave squig. Inside his tower there, he has another spear chukka. Then he has his level 4 shaman that's on a boar, a big unit of regular orc big guns with 2 choppas, and in there he has his war boss. Then he has 10 wolves behind them, a big unit of black orcs with a BSB. Then he has his giant and a chariot there. So really just some thoughts for this game. I really wanted to get a pairing of my squigs and his black orcs. I thought that'd be really nice. But I think a big thing here is he has a general as BSB on the right, and then all these things that need leadership on the left. So a little bit of a mistake of deployment for my opponent, and I plan to try and jump at that as soon as I can. And really, if I can spook those units off the board and just manhandle some of the units on the right, then I can win this pretty easily. So I win first turn. The Sinister Statue blasts both a Night Goblin and a couple of the squigs on the right there. For charges, I have my one chariot that goes into the squig guy there, the giant cave squig. I kill him. That panics the goblins, and they panic over to the left side, and they also panic the spear chukka, so it can't shoot next turn. And then otherwise, I'm just kind of moving up. With the magic, I got Footed Gork on his black orcs and killed 10 or something. And my squigs on the far right, they just reform to at least be in horde formation, because I don't want to move up and then get charged before I get all my full attacks. As well, on the right there, sorry, my night goblins went, and even though I netted myself, I killed all the wolves. So, one banner gone. So turn 1 for my opponent, and he starts off with some bad luck right away. His shaman goes to do the Eerie Go spell and gets Irresistible Force. He actually got 3 6s, and from that he actually rolled double 1s for his miscast table result and killed himself. So yeah, there's his Lord level caster gone right away. So here's what it looks like at the end of his turn. So some really crazy stuff going on. So for whatever reason, he didn't really charge me on the right here. His giant and chariot is moving up. To begin with, his trolls went and he charged my big unit of 100 there. I netted myself. He made regens like insane. I think he made something like 17 of 18. I don't know, something huge. I don't know how many it was, but he just made a lot. Anyway, I failed. I obviously lost. I broke twice, even with the reroll, and then he ran me down. So that was pretty crazy. But he also charged me with the uh, spiders on the left here. He had rallied with those goblins, but I killed almost all the spiders. They broke, ran over the regular goblins, and of course the spiders went all the way off because the way he had his units. That panicked the goblins. The goblins ran off over the night goblins, panicking the night goblins, and they're off the board too. So wow, what bad luck for my opponent. His entire left flank is completely gone, and more importantly for the mission, that's 3 more banners gone from him. So my turn 2, I charge his trolls, my black orcs, and I think this is actually time he made something like 17 of 18 saves, because I did 1 wound with all those black orcs. It was crazy, all those regens, and he actually beat me, but luckily this time I held. I did not charge his big guns with his general, because he still had the Eerie Go spell on them, so I want to wait till that's gone. And then what I also did is I charged my other night goblins into his black orcs, and with 6 bosses, I just really tore into him because I netted him, and it's really obvious that I'm grinding him down. And then finally, with my squigs, I went and first of all, the sinister statue shot his giant and did a couple of wounds, and then I just went in and finished him off. So there's the giant gone. On his turn 2, his big gun unit charges mine, and I make a challenge with my great shaman here because I'm basically going to be toughness 8. And so with this combat here, he did 1 wound to my great shaman. I did, of course, nothing back. And in the main combat, I just destroyed him. We're both big guns, blah blah. Most of the rolling is the same, but the big difference is, first of all, his rolling was a little bit crappy, and second of all, with my shrunken head, I'm having a 5+ ward, and he has no save whatsoever. So when you have that, and I have more attacks, and my war boss, having 8 attacks, just tearing his guys apart, 3+, 2+ for the kill. I just slaughtered him, but then he rolled insane courage, so this one's gonna keep going. So, end of the turn, it looks like this. My trolls, his trolls finally break and run away, and I kind of combat reform so I can see this other combat, although I didn't really do the right angle, so I won't be able to get there anyway. And you can see in the other main combat, actually, something I didn't say, his chariot went and charged my squig herd. I went and beat those guys, just destroyed the chariot. And then my big boss is still, and those night goblins are just tearing apart those black orcs. He'll kill some of my guys, but I'm netting him, so he's not doing that much damage. And then I'm just, that's 6 times 3 attacks. That's, strength 6, just tearing into him. So they just won't last very long. And then on my turn 3, pretty much this is all that matters. I guess to this combat here, I kill everything but the BSB, and then the BSB breaks, and that means he just has the 1 banner in the general, down to 3, and he loses. So victory to my orcs. Some of the reasons why I think this happened was he just did not have his left flank within the general's leadership. That meant that the entire thing just completely collapsed, giving me a huge advantage. If that stuff wouldn't have panicked, I think he could have held up my black orcs for a while. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered too much, but I mean, it's just so huge. My unit with my night goblins, with my big bosses, was just great for killing those black orcs. I mean, you could kind of say that, well, maybe you should have been targeting my big bosses, but then I'm basically toughness 5, and he's just going to be losing out on all that combat res for everything that doesn't go through, because now he needs 4 pluses to hit as well. So, he was kind of just in a really bad situation. And then, of course, just the Savage Orc Big Guns just being so much better for 1 point more than the regular Big Gun regular Orcs with the extra Choppa. So, amazing unit, that shrunken head in there, making them so good, especially with the synergy with the characters, and yeah, really fast game. And the only good thing with having a fast game is we had time for a rematch. So I'll have another battle report up here soon.